welcome back to my channel. Today I'm outside my house. It's such a lovely day today. What has been all day. It's actually currently 3:30 in the afternoon on Sunday. I've been at my mum's probably for the last 4 hours helping her clean up the house. She's going to be putting it on the market soon. Even though today I can't actually show you any examples of what I want to talk about, I just wanted to come on and just kind of try and explain to you about these situations as much as I can, and then hopefully one day when I am about to do one of these, I can pick up the camera and actually show you how I do it. So one of the first examples is something that everybody obviously takes for granted: walking. Obviously I can't do that. So say something like, you see a mother walking her toddler in the pram and her older child to the bus stop so the older child can go to school. Obviously I can do that, it's just that it's done in a different way. And things like, when the kids are younger, and I've kind of had to try and remember everything that I had to learn very quickly, and how to look after Hayley. Obviously Alex being a different human being altogether and being bigger and heavier and a boy, I've had to do things a little bit differently than I did with Hayley. Obviously, so it meant, picking her up off the floor, or, putting her to bed, changing her, things like that, were a lot easier with her. And I was younger as well, and I think that's also another thing. Now that I'm older, I've kind of lost, and it's been such a long time since Hayley was a baby that, as I said, it's kind of, I do remember certain things that I did with Hayley, but as I said, I've had to readapt, not just because of the kids being different and me being older, but also we live in a different house than we did when Hayley was a baby as well. So, rooms might be in different positions, we might have a bigger lounge room in this house than we did in the last one, and the kitchen's different, and where Alex sleeps is different to where Hayley slept when she came home from hospital. She had to have her own room from day one in our other house we lived in, just because our main bedroom in the other house was not big enough to put a bassinet in, with having the wheelchair and a double bed, or queen size bed, or whatever we had then. But now, because our bedroom's actually a little bit bigger and the bed's in a different position, I can fit my wheelchair and a little bassinet. So he is sleeping in our room, which is really quite strange. So that, again, that will be different, having to transition him from him used to sleeping in our room with us being right there, to him having to go to his own room. So that will be different in itself, and I don't know how that's gonna go. He's a big mummy's boy, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes with that one. Another example would be in our old house, our kitchen actually, not our kitchen, our laundry was a little bit bigger, and where the laundry was situated in the house, I was able to get to. Whereas in this house, I can't actually get into it, and it is a lot smaller. So that just means that obviously, if I can't get into the laundry room, and I can't do laundry, so it's up to my husband to do my laundry for me, and things like that. So, and I'm lucky this time around in this house we have an ensuite, because if I was left to just use the main bathroom in this house, there was no way I could get in at all. Where in the other house, when Hayley grew up, there was a lot of room I've got makeup on my hand. Yeah, so there was a lot of room and stuff that I was able to move around a lot more. But, you know, obviously I don't really think this house is smaller. I think it is just that this house is a rectangular shape, whereas the other house and all the houses that I've grown up in are more of a square shape. So I find it easier to actually get around in when the house is a square shape, because it's built bigger for that reason. You know, hallways might be a little bit wider, doorways, you know, aren't kind of crammed in together next to each other. Another example I just thought of too is something, again, that people take for granted. Talking about bathrooms and things, you know, like going to the toilet or having a shower. Like, it doesn't just work for me. You know, I can't just sit in the lounge and go, oh, I need to run to the toilet. So I'll, you know, run to the toilet and sit down on the toilet and do my business and then walk out and whatever. Like, or same thing with the shower. Like, that doesn't work for me. Things have to be planned and it takes a long time. Actually, my husband helps me with certain things, which I won't go into complete detail, but it's not bad. But it's, yeah, it would be nice if I could, you know, go and have a shower by myself, but it's just not possible. So he's having to be there, you know. And then now, obviously, you know, again, we're in a different house. So we'd been in the previous house for about 2 years, again renting, which we've been really lucky with. All the houses we've rented, they've let us stay longer than the 12 months, which is fantastic. So again, you know, I get into a really good routine and, you know, adapting to the situation in that particular house, and then you go and leave, and then you have to find another house that's adaptable. You know, like, obviously because we rent, I can't go out and say, okay, I'm going to smash that wall down in between the laundry and the hallway, because I can't, because it's not my house. So I have to learn to adapt to the house, how it is. So the same thing again, like now, yes, we've been living in this house for 5 years, and yes, we've got a routine down pat of how, you know, and when things have to happen and things like that. But then you throw 2 kids into it. Hard, obviously, yeah, it was hard actually. When obviously Hayley was smaller, but now that she's got older and she understands certain things, she doesn't understand everything. She doesn't really need to know everything. I think myself, she's too young to understand stuff, but there are certain things that she does understand. So, you know, when I'm having a shower or when I'm doing something, you know, she knows that not to come into the bathroom or not to disturb my husband and I. But now that we've got 2, we kind of, is like, you have to squeeze in, which any parent does. You know, like, I have a toddler, yeah, he's not on the move yet, but as soon as he is, I know he's going to be wanting to be right there under my feet. And that goes for any toddler. And when you're going to the toilet, when you're going for a shower, when you're doing the dishes, whatever you're doing, they're right there. And as I said, even though he's not moving yet, he's making himself known. Like, he will high pitch scream from the lounge room, even if Hayley's in there, just because he wants to be where I am all the time. So the fact that he's going to be on the move very soon, and as I said, you know, wanting to be right there with me. And then we also have Hayley, and then, you know, now she's getting older, she's got school and she's got after school activities and things like that, and you're kind of like, okay, take a breath. I'm losing my days that, you know, I would have, you know. And obviously, again, Steve works full time, so I don't just have him home, you know, from the time I get up to the time I go to bed. He's at work, so I am home alone for majority of the day. That whole chunk of that day, I'm on my own. So I am looking after Alex, or, you know, if he works on a Saturday or a Sunday, you know, I'm then home with 2 kids on my own. So if, you know, in the routine or whatever, if me, that was the night I have a shower, you know, or medical stuff happens on those particular nights, you know, we have to now again adapt to being a family of 4, not just being, you know, it was easy when it was just the 2 of us because it could just be done anytime, anywhere. We didn't have anyone fussing over us. We didn't have anyone screaming in our ears. We just did things when I was ready or when we were both ready and we were both free to do things. When now, as I said, you know, you've got an 8-year-old that's at school from 9 till 3, which is great, but as I said, Steve's not even home at that time, so even if things could be done, you know, while Alex is napping, like, it doesn't happen because Steve's not here. So even though there's like a big chunk of the day or 2 or 3 little chunks of the day where Alex might be asleep and Hayley is at school, when I'm home, you know, I'm just sitting at home, Steve's not here, so it can't get done. So it's kind of like everything now at the moment is, like, medical wise, is being done on the weekends, just so that Hayley is home with us and she can help. And so it's kind of like, alright, maybe we'll do it of a night time, but then we're kind of like, because Alex sleeps in our room, that doesn't work. So it's kind of like we're stuck, and we're trying and it's working so far, but then again, obviously things change, you know, in a couple of weeks or a couple of months or in a year, things are going to change again, you know, with him being mobile and, you know, Hayley being older again and school and work, and everything's going to change again in like 6 to 12 months. So, you know, it's like every 3 months, I swear, like, you get yourself into a routine, and a lot of people are probably like this too, you know, you get yourself into a routine and then something happens and you have to scrap that completely and then start again. So that's pretty much what my life is every single day, you know. Kind of like, oh my god, I just wish I had help. Like, I don't honestly know how single mums do it, like being on your own 24/7 with whether it's 1 kid or however many kids you do. Like, my hat goes off to these people. Normal struggles that every mother goes through, you know. Yes, I can move around in the chair and I can push myself, I can do all that stuff, but it's still a major block in the road. I really, obviously, and I've said this before, wish I didn't have, but I have to live with it, and my life is just about adapting to situations. And I know that actually one of the things that Steve did say that he did love about me when he first met me was the fact that I can just adapt to pretty much any situation. So it's a big learning curve. As I said, it's not just, you know, all of a sudden, you know, moving out of home and, you know, you've been reliant on your mum and dad for so many years, and then all of a sudden you're out on your own or you're living with your boyfriend or whatever. It's that times 1,000, because I've got to think about, as I said, it's day-to-day stuff. And people wonder, like, and actually Steve actually laughs at me with this. He just laughs at the fact that I'm just such a big list maker, and I have to be, because even, as I said, even if I know something's coming up next week or whatever, I need to plan for it, or I need to plan, you know, a couple of weeks ahead if I can possibly. But life doesn't sometimes give you that chance, so you have to kind of, you know, adapt every day, as I've said, and it can be stressful, but I get it done. So that's the main thing. As long as, you know, all of us are happy and healthy and alive at the end of the day, when Steve comes home, I know I've done my job for the day, and then full day of work, and then he comes home and does more because he's helping me out. He's cooking dinners, he's doing laundry, he does everything. Like, I would love to be able to do it all, and there are certain things that I can do, as I've said. Another example, if Hayley has something on at school, and the parents are asked to come, a lot of the time I can't go because I don't drive, and that's not because I can't, that one is because I choose not to, and I'll go into that in another video, because I know even probably family really don't know why I don't drive. Like, ever since I was 16, I've been able to drive. Like, you can get a car that can be adapted to me being in the chair and me being able to drive, and how I get the wheelchair in and things like that. So anything can be adaptable. Anything. Like cots, prams, sidewalks, cars, wheelchairs, anything. And my brain, as I said, goes on and on and on all day thinking about, what I need. And I think I have rambled on long enough, and hopefully you get at least a little bit of an idea of what the types of things that I have to go through every day. As I said, I will try and remember to pick up the camera. I do want to do a video on a disabled mum day in a life type video, which again I'll need Steve home because he'll have to do the camera work, so it needs to be a day that he's got off, but also I want it to be a day that Hayley's at school, so we kind of have to work that out, just so that you guys can see me taking Hayley to the bus stop, what we do at the bus stop, coming home, his daily routine, my routine, what happens during the day, things like that up until bedtime. So I do want to do one of those. I've seen quite a few, obviously, new mums, teens, or just new mums and new dads doing that kind of stuff, but I haven't actually seen anyone do one as a disabled mum, so I just thought that might be interesting, just because it will be a little bit different to anything else that you guys have obviously seen on YouTube. So if you like that idea and you want to see that type of video, you want to see my list of things. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next week. Bye.